¿Qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos a un nuevo video en el canal. Estoy muy contento de estar nuevamente con todos ustedes. Pues hemos estado viendo bastantes temas muy relevantes en una opinión personal. La verdad es que se me han hecho unos temas bastante picantes, por decirlo de alguna manera. Hemos estado viendo ayer justamente cómo Rick Scott y Josh Hawley empezaron a tener ahí una pequeña discusión, siendo los dos republicanos, sobre este tema que se ha estado, pues digamos, haciendo pues polémica, eco a todas este tipo de cuestiones en prohibir a los funcionarios públicos dentro de los Estados Unidos en activo, pues que hagan compra y venta de acciones. Así que, bueno, vamos a ver qué fue lo que pasó el senador, bueno, qué fue lo que dijo el senador Moreno y le dijo a todos los colegas una frase bastante contundente. Así que, bueno, quédense y adelante con las imágenes.
Can I ask a new guy question here? Look, this is obviously really important. And by the way, I made a decision to sell every single one of my assets before the primary. Just be clear on that. But here's my question. Is this really the right way to run a railroad? We're being thrown at us reams of paper, lots of dialogue, and then we're taking a vote. If you had a gun to my head, I could not tell you what we're about to vote for. I have no idea what we're voting for. I was a co-sponsor with Senator Hawley on the Pelosi Act. Pretty straightforward. I read that bill. I have not read the mountains of paper that's in front of me, and I think it's wholly irresponsible for us to sit here. Pretty much, let's be honest, this is a publicity show, and then be asked to vote on something where we have literally no idea what we're voting on. I mean, I'm sitting here asking my fellow senators, like, what do we actually, is there underlying amendment, substitute amendment? These are all words that you guys use every day, but for normal people, these are not normal words. So if there's a way to actually have a conversation in which we understand, hey, here's the bill, you've read it, you understand the implications one way or the other, and then we can have an adult, intelligent conversation, we pass something. I think it is important for us to restore faith in our institutions. But to just put a vote out there where we have literally no idea what we're voting for is gross incompetence and irresponsibility.
So first off, if I may, Mr. Chairman, the substitute was put out Friday. So you've had several days to look at the substitute. This is just a very minor change.
Text was just handed to us.
Well, it is everything that went to your office on Friday with one minor change, is my understanding.
We got
So
it. We got it when we arrived in the committee.
Hold on one second.
This is my
Senator,
understanding.
with all due respect, look, sending something out Friday through some random computer system is also disrespectful to people on this committee. Why wouldn't you, if we're going to pass something, why wouldn't we have an intelligent conversation that says, hey, I'm the co-sponsor of the bill, that says, hey, this is what we're looking to change, and here's what it is, and read through it, and this is why we thought about it. Let's have a thoughtful meeting. Look, if we ran businesses this way, you wouldn't have to be an entrepreneur to run for office. You'd be flat broke. This is the most absurd process I've ever seen. And again, if we're talking about having faith in our institutions, if you guys think this is normal, all of you have been here too long.
Well, Senator, we do use computers in the Senate. I know that might be kind of weird for you, but we do use those. And we send them to your staff, and my staff looks at the things that come in because it's on a markup, and we go through it. It's actually the bill that passed last session, too.
Let's be very
if I may
clear.
finish, Mr. Chairman. And so this is only a change. There was a date certain as to, was it 27, I think, and instead it was changed to the term of an individual. And then let me go back to, I mean, President Trump is treated like every other member. There's no trading within 90 days. We deal with the trading issue right away, which I think is probably 95% of the problem, is the trading. And this bill, this substitute deals with it after 90 days. The president, members of the Senate, members of the House are all going to be impacted by it. And that's what passed last Congress. This is what was in the substitute via computer, as odd as that may be for you. It went via computer to your office. Your staff had a chance to look at. This is a minor change. And that's what we're talking about.
Before we're going to be disdainful of the point, we got the substitute on Friday. We got the modification when we walked in. The modification is what removes Donald Trump from the bill. It's a big change. The modification vote is what we're going to have. You're right. Substitute didn't include the president. Yes, the bill will treat Congress and the president equally in the bill with the modification. Without the modification, it treats the president immediately. We will be voting to modify the substitute to not have this bill apply to Donald Trump while he's in office. That is what the vote is before us. But I sort of resent you treating our members by saying, oh, you don't know about a computer? I mean, you know better than that.
He complained it came via computer, Mr. Chairman. I was just, I'm sorry.
Mr. Peters, if you want to have a who knows more about technology battle, let's have that battle. So maybe I know more about technology in my pinky than you do. Can you explain on page 4 and 5 what the changes are? Could you walk me through the changes that were made on pages 4 and 5? Because you know this bill off the top of your head.
The changes with the times.
So what's the changes in page 4?
The change in the change that was made, my understanding is the change was just on the date.
That's incorrect. Okay, how about the changes on page 5?
Take a look at them.
So you don't know. It was delivered to you on a computer. You didn't read it over the weekend? So what were the changes on page 5?
The dates are changed throughout, Senator.
That's not the dates. It's not true at all.
I got this from Senator Hawley's staff, who gave it to us, and that was the change that they said was the only change.
Explain the changes on page 4, page 5.
So
Could I just, Mr. Chair, I just want to take a step back. Our staffs did get the substitute. They did brief, at least I got briefed on what it was, and I got briefed on the change that was handed to us this morning. But the bigger picture, it seems to me, and I just want to be clear, what this bill would do is apply to the president as well as members of Congress to prevent them from trading the stocks they currently hold within 90 days of the passage of this bill. So that is, in fact, applying to Donald Trump in the present, and I want to be very clear about that. Like all members of Congress in this legislation, Donald Trump does not have to divest unless he were to start another presidential term. And the reality is that he is in his second term, so the Constitution prevents that. But the vice president would have to do the same thing if he were to have another term. We would all have to do the same thing. But it gives members the choice to decide whether they are going to divest or run for office. And that seems to me to be a fair way of addressing some of the concerns that we've heard from opponents of this bill. So I just want to take a step back and be real about what does and doesn't apply to the president right now and what is in this bill, and echo Senator Slotkin's and others' view that this is a major and important step forward. To my colleague from Ohio, we have debated this issue on this committee now for several rounds, including in the last Congress, and there's always somebody who finds some small thing to say, well, let's just wait, let's just delay it. I think the work here has been really good. I think you've heard Senator Hawley agree that as it comes to the floor, if there are other changes or clarifications people want, he will work with them on that, and there is still a chance to vote against it on the floor should it get to the floor. But I just want to echo that I think this is a major step forward and an important piece of legislation to make sure that the American public knows that members of Congress and the President of the United States are not spending their time trading stocks when they are supposed to be working here full-time. Thank you.
But let's be very clear about the timeline. The substitute was distributed on Friday. The modification, most of us, other than Senator Peters, didn't get it.
Bien, señores, pues acabamos de ver, se empezaba a extender esto ya, creo que además, pero creo que aquí el mensaje se puede decir y se puede saber muy claro en esta cuestión, como lo dijo el senador Moreno, él es muy claro y creo que también en parte de su mensaje estoy de acuerdo con él. Él es republicano, aunque muchas de esas posturas republicanas yo no estoy de acuerdo. Pero en esta ocasión con el senador Moreno creo que en parte de lo que él comenta sí me gustó sus declaraciones, porque se puede decir, señores, que todo este tema que hemos estado pues viendo, como él lo dijo, o sea, todo esto es de que pues se puede decir de alguna manera pues que todo esto que están platicando, todo esto que están analizando, realmente, pues dice, ¿para dónde vamos? O sea, ¿qué vamos a votar? ¿Qué estamos, o solamente estamos platicando, o prácticamente no estamos echándonos un café, o qué estamos haciendo? O sea, y es algo que yo en lo particular, o un servidor en lo particular, yo desapruebo totalmente el hecho de que las cosas no tienen que ser tan lentas, o sea, las cosas no se tienen que sobreanalizar, las cosas, si ya se sabe qué es lo que quiere, pues realmente, ¿para qué le estamos dando tantas vueltas y tantas vueltas y tantas vueltas a lo mismo cuando ya se sabe qué es lo que se quiere? Y es algo de lo que él estaba expresando, el senador Moreno. Así que la verdad sí me gustó ese tipo de declaraciones. Pero bueno, o sea, aquí lo que importa, bueno, y es algo que también he criticado bastante, pues digamos, de los corporativos en general, digamos, esos benditos, bueno, si ustedes han estado en oficina, particularmente ustedes no me van a dejar mentir, lo que son los benditos y malditos procesos que la verdad es caray, o sea, hay cosas, varias cosas que se pueden saltar en el proceso y el objetivo se va a cumplir y el resultado va a ser el mismo. Y resulta que no, o sea, porque necesita que lo vea una persona y luego la otra persona se lo tiene que dar a otra y esa persona lo tiene que meter en una reunión a no sé dónde y luego esa reunión se la tienen que pasar a no sé quién para que lo apruebe y es un montón de tiempo desperdiciado que dices, o sea, todo este tipo de cosas solamente no le agregan valor y solamente hacen que se encarezca, pues digamos, el producto original, pero bueno, aquí estamos hablando de un tema gubernamental que realmente siento que también le estaban dando mucho rodeo al tema. Y bueno, así que, pues, ¿qué opinan ustedes, señores? Aquí me encantaría saber qué es lo que opinan todos ustedes. Eh, Hasta aquí el video. Suscríbanse, es totalmente gratis, es solamente para que ustedes no se pierdan los videos que publicamos aquí en el canal. Y bueno, me encantó estar nuevamente con todos ustedes. Les mando un abrazo y nos vemos en la siguiente. Bye bye.